Can't get any simpler than this. 2 + 2 = Quartet. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be talking about my second Kiwi ears IEM experience, and for today's video, I'll be talking about the Kiwi ears Quartet, which is a 2DD and 2BA driver configuration IEM. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Linsol once again for their amazing support by providing this in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own and are not influenced by any parties. If you'd like to check out Linsol's website, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And if you've been enjoying my content, do consider hitting the like and subscribe button or visiting my Patreon page. With that all out of the way, let's talk accessories. For accessories, I think I've gotten too used to budget level unboxing experiences because I felt so much joy just receiving a case as part of the accessories, which is what they provided in the Kiwi ears Quartet package. Opening the box, you'll be greeted by the IEMs themselves. Inside the box, you get the standard interchangeable ear tips, the cables, case, as mentioned earlier, and a SIM card pin, because this IEM has switches. For the cables themselves, they are pretty standard with the matte black finished. They actually look really good, they complement the IEMs, but I wouldn't be going crazy over these cables anytime soon. Anyway, let's talk about the IEMs design. These IEMs are simply beautiful. Look at all that purple. Pretty in purple. I never knew I liked purple on an IEM until this IEM existed. It looks so much better in person. That shiny finish with a hint of black mixed with the purple scheme, alongside the Kiwi ears logo in striking silver font. Talking about standing out without attracting too much attention. Nothing more to say, simply gorgeous. For fit and comfort, these IEMs are really light and has enough gentle curves to make it a relatively comfortable fit. I could wear them for hours, no problem. Nothing more to say, let's talk about sound. As mentioned earlier, there are 2 switches per side which affects how it sounds, so let's dive deeper. Starting at both switches at the on position, the bass is thick, heavy and weighty, but sadly it doesn't rumble deep. There's a lot of punch, slam and impact, but not a lot of texture. For this setting, bass becomes the highlight, though it is a bit one-dimensional. For mid-range, it's not too forward nor recessed, but the lower frequencies does encroach a little into the sound, but it creates a warm and lush presentation. Vocal notes sound full, however as an overall presentation, it does have the all sound in one plain presentation. For treble, it is smooth, and the setting won't be piercing anyone's ears anytime soon. However, the way the treble is presented on this setting does affect air instruments. Trumpets sound a little muffled, their attacks are just not as distinct. For imaging and resolution, it's just about average. You can hear the macro details, however, the bass details at this setting is more noticeable and can sometimes overwhelm and mask some micro details. So when both switches are on the downwards position, which is off, the entire frequencies are essentially pushed back. Bass still retains its meat and punch but sounds a little bit further away. For the mid-range, vocals are a little bit recessed and it is missing that note weight that the previous setting had. For treble, however, the treble sounded a little bit more distinct, sharper, which gives more openness to the sound. However, the note sounded a little bit on the thinner side. At this setting, I do have to put a mild caution for treble sensitive people. All of the above does create an illusion of a wider soundstage. Details may sound a little sharper and more distinct. Imaging and position of sounds are more distinguishable, but it doesn't sound as warm or lush as the previous setting. At this setting, this is the best setting for me personally, is when the first switch is at the downwards position and the second switch is on the upwards position, which means number 1 switch is off and number 2 switch is on. For this setting, bass still retains its impact, but it is not as overpowering as when both switches are on the upward setting. The mid-range presentation is pushed a little bit forward, the treble still retains its highs. Overall, it's a much more intimate presentation and it still retains that resolution due to how the treble is presented compared to when both switches are on the on setting. So just to sum it all up, when both switches are on or in the upwards position, it presents a smoother, warm, lush presentation with thick, meaty, impactful bass. When both switches are on the downwards position or in the off position, it presents a sound with a wider soundstage with treble highs and sharper details. And when the switch is on the downwards position on the first switch and upwards position on the second switch, you get a little bit of both. So it's sort of like a middle child between the 2 settings I mentioned earlier. So in summary, this IEM does more than just look pretty. Regardless of what you look for in your sound, whether it's a warm and lush presentation or a wide sound with striking highs, or a little bit of both, the Kiwi Ears Quartet's got you covered, and for $109, I think that's a pretty solid offer. However, this is based out of one man's opinion, and I'm curious to know yours. Is this going to be your favorite Kiwi Ears IEM, or what is your favorite Kiwi Ears IEM in your collection so far? Comment below, let me know, and with that all said, I'd like to thank Linso once again for this opportunity, and to all of you for watching. Until the next experience, take care.